I'm back with another tutorial. This time I'm in the oh god, that was such a bad intro. This time I'm in the Voyager. It was so like clunky. I don't know. Right, but anyway, back to the tutorial. Shush. Right, this time I'm in the Voyager. This tutorial will go for the standard Voyager, the class 220, and the Tilting Super Voyager, which is this one, the class 221. There's only a few slight differences between the two trains, and I'll explain them in a bit. Right, first, getting the train going. Shut up, I know what I'm doing. Getting the train going, we need to get the train started and ready to roll. So first thing you want to do is press Shift and then W and S. That gets all the batteries going and that gets the train systems initialized. It starts them all up. While I'm waiting, I'm just going to pop instrument lights on and turn on the cab lights. While that's going over there, I'm going to start up the engine. I'm going to get that running, and I'm going to switch the headlights over here to day. In this train the lights do actually function as they're marked up on here. If you look, it is actually marked as day. You've got these different ones. They do work, surprisingly. See? Flashing. So what you want is you want day running, and you can actually switch it to day. Right, this alarm going off. What you need to do, you need to come over here and you need to press the TMS level 3 fault reset and it'll silence the alarm. Simple as that. But day running, you see you've got lights set up properly there. You've got the brightest light on the offside to the driver. So that's day running. Night running is different. Next, what can I do while this system's getting set up? I can set a destination board. This is the thing a lot of people have asked me about, setting a destination board. On this train, you press Control and F12. You can use right control or left control, it doesn't matter which, they both do it. So in the case of this train, I know it's going to Western Supermare, so if I just press Control F12 and get through this, Exeter, Glasgow, Guildford, Holyhead, Liverpool Spa, Leeds, Liverpool, no. London Euston, that's an ironic one to have, because there's no route that goes to London Euston in this game yet, which is a shame, because I want the south end of West Coast Main Line. Western Supermare. If you see how I just went past it and I'm at Wolverhampton, if you press Control, Shift and F12 it goes back. And there you go, that's how you set the destination boards on the Voyagers. So I've got, there we go, the alarm again, TMS fault, level 3 fault reset again. And then, what I can do, you got the radio test as well. Should click that and just, there we go. Eventually it works. Can't put my hand under there. Note to self. Right. There we go. That screen's ready to go. It says I can go in the train. What I'm going to do is I was about to go and click that. That's, like I say, I have this set up. That normally loads and unloads passengers for me, but it's not. It's T. So I'm going to let passengers on and off. I'm late at the moment, and I'm going to move the reverser down to neutral and silence the AWS alarm. That will go off, and then when I'm ready to pull away, I'm going to put it in first and then silence the DSD that's going to go off. What I am going to do here, just out of my own personal preference, is because this train wouldn't tilt at low speeds, I'm going to isolate the tilt system. Because I know for a fact it's not going to tilt at a low speed. They're designed to tilt at high speed so they can take corners at a higher speed. So I'm going to isolate that system for now, and I'll turn it back on. Right, now I'm going to put it in first, silence the DSD, pull the DRA off, and then I am going to pull away. I'm going to put it about there, and pull away nicely. Oh yeah, another thing you can do, if you get bored in the cab when you're waiting for something, you can mess about with the climate control. Doesn't really do anything, you just get a whooshy sound in the cab, and I'm going to turn off the cab lights. There we go. Wipers, that's a good one to mention. If you press Shift V, you get an intermittent wiper, which my preferred type of wipers, or wiper speed. Press V again, it will turn it off. If you press V this time, you get a more constant one. And if you press V once more, you get the fast ones. Now, the sounds in this train, in this video, will probably sound, or will likely sound different to what you have, unless you have the Armstrong Powerhouse sound pack installed. I have that installed, so it's going to sound slightly different to the standard sounds, and for this now I'm going to unisolate the tilt system. and now the train can tilt. Basically, the only difference between the Super Voyager and Standard Voyager is this over here. The task system. It's not going to be there in the Standard Voyager because it doesn't need it, because it doesn't tilt. Only the Super Voyager, the class 221, tilts, which means you can isolate the tilt if you should so want to. And you got these up here. These don't generally work, but I think there's one route. I think it's the Scottish East Coast Main Line where the task system is implemented. I'm not sure though. Could be wrong now. I know one route does have the task system and it's operational on there. Basically, on the West Coast Main, this is going in for the West Coast Main Line stuff now. With the Pendolino, the Class 390, silence that. The Pendolino and the Super Voyager, there are two sets of speed limits on the West Coast Main Line throughout a lot of it. There are what are called EPS speed limits, and then the standard ones. The EPS ones are a different colour. I think they're on an orange or a yellow background, and they're higher than the standard speed. This is because the EPS stands for Enhanced Permissible Speed, and it basically means that's the speed that the Super Voyager and the Pendolino can travel at if their tilt systems are working. It basically allows them to travel at a higher speed because they can tilt it safer, and they can do that. If their tilt systems aren't working, they have to follow the standard line speed, which I think for a lot of it is 110. So they're not allowed to go faster than that. And if I just pull in here, I'm just going to stop here. The brakes in this train they're not as good as you would expect them to be. They're quite soft, to be fair. So it takes a little while to slow the train down. It's very easy to overestimate the brakes, like I just have. I thought I was going to be stopping by the end of there, but I'm clearly not. I've gone past it. That's what comes from doing sort of 3 or 4 things at once. Yeah, I overestimate the brakes here big time. But there you go. They're not as good as you would expect them to be. They're quite soft and spongy. Look at that. Look, the doors are clearly on the platform there. Why not open them? I know that back one isn't. That's another thing entirely. But yeah, it's very easy to overestimate the brakes on this because I don't know what it is. I think since the latest update, they don't seem to be as effective. I don't know why, but I guess it's more realistic this way because they wouldn't be able to stop that quickly. Because you have to remember, it is a diesel and it's going to weigh more than a normal electric would because it's got engines in it throughout the entire thing. Each coach has an engine. So let's just pull away again. And what I'm going to do is now, I'm going to wait for the DSD alarm to go off. I'm going to ignore it so that it'll apply the emergency brakes. And then I'm going to talk you through what you need to do there to disable them. Well, not disable them, to I can't think of what the best word would be. I'm going to stick with disable for now. Release, there we go. The way to go about releasing the emergency brakes after they've been applied by the DSD. I said DSD a lot. DSD is driver's safety device. I believe it's like the driver's vigilance device in the class 57. And another thing, like I said in the class 57, in a lot of the time in the cabs of modern trains, they will have a maximum speed written in them, and the same goes for this one. It's got maximum speed up there, 125 miles an hour. That's its service speed that it's allowed to do. Or is it the design? It's one of the two. Usually service speed and design speed are the same. It's only a few times when they're not the same. And I just on instinct, I just cancelled the DSD. So I'm going to have to wait another 30 seconds for it to go off again. That was just... My instinct is to immediately press Q and cancel it. So I guess I'm going to be ignoring this station. I'm going to go straight through it. And I am then going to wait for the brakes to apply themselves. Come on. DSD, please. Please, DSD. I wish I hadn't done that. My instinct always tells me press Q and stop. Or to stop them, to stop being stopped. How many times can I say stop in a sentence there? Jesus. That was... Right away, mate. Next stop now, Season Blackwell. Blackwell? What am I on about? Oh yeah, just fun thing. Another fun thing. You have a sunblind there, should you need it. I've only ever come into a couple of times when I've used it. There we go. Don't press. Resist that urge. And there we go. The brakes are on. You can see that there. The brake application percentage has just shot up, the speed's dropped down, and the alarm's still going off. So I'm going to shut the alarm up because it's annoying. I'm going to reduce this to essentially 0. I've actually got it dead on 0% because for some reason in this train the notches don't work. I don't know why. I think they used to, but they don't anymore. If this screen goes off, if you really want it on, you can just click on it and it'll come on again. So once the train's stopped, you can hear the traction motors winding down. I love that. It will never get old. I love the sound pack for that. But right. Anyway, back on topic. Once the train has stopped, you can see the emergency brakes are still on. You take the reverser to neutral. There we go. Brakes are off. And then back into forward again, cancel the alarm, and you can pull away. Another thing this train that it has is it has a slow speed control if you should want to travel at 3 miles an hour. Even if you put it at 100%, it's going to be it's going to get it restricted, and it's going to be controlled so that it'll only run up to 3 miles an hour. And while I'm travelling at this slow speed, if the emergency brakes get applied, there is an emergency brake override, which will allow for 30 seconds of driving. It's not something that's really necessary in this game, but in real life it's used for, say, if the brakes get applied in a tunnel, you can override the emergency brakes and pull forward out of the tunnel to a safe spot, or pull forward to a safe spot for passengers should they need to get out of the train. You can do that. It will just give 30 seconds, and after 30 seconds it will put the brakes back on again. The signal button, there is a working signal button, a guard to driver signal. It's over here. You can click it there. My neighbour's just banged on the wall because they're noisy bastards. Or you can press Control B, and that'll give you the same thing. I don't know why they're banging on the wall. They're just being annoying, and I apologise for swearing. I didn't mean to. It's a bad habit. I swear about them a lot. And then if you take that off, of course, the train's going to rev up and you're going to pull away. There's no manual sander in this train. It's done automatically, so if there's wheel slip, the train will automatically apply sand if it needs to. That's a lot of things. That's something with a lot of modern trains. They don't have a manual sander. They're done automatically. The computer controlled. So if the wheels are slipping, and even though it's applying sand, it's not going to matter because you're not going to be able to do anything about it. The only thing you can do is to reduce the throttle so that you're not accelerating as hard. And like I say, general practice, as I said in the 57, is not to pull away at use caution. I'm charging my phone up while I'm recording this, so it's telling me that my phone's getting hot, which it is. So yeah, general practice pulling out a station or pulling from a standing start is you don't pull away at 100%. Goes with most things. But anyway, I think that is about all that I have to do with the Voyager now. That's everything that goes with it. So I'm going to end this here, and I'm going to say thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, please leave a like. I apologise this is up a bit later. This is my second time recording it, and I wasn't happy with my first recording, so I re-recorded it, and it will hopefully go up tomorrow, which is Saturday, which makes that the 10th. So I'm going to stop now so my phone can stop complaining about being hot and overheating, and say thank you for watching.